During the Great War, a small Balkan nation stood alone against impassable odds, outnumbered and surrounded on all sides. Serbia fought with relentless courage, becoming a symbol of resistance during the Great War. So this is the story of this small Balkan nation during one of the biggest wars in the world history. On June 28, 1914, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, was assassinated in Sarajevo by Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serb nationalist. This event triggered a diplomatic crisis all over Europe. Austria-Hungary, backed by Germany, blamed Serbia for supporting the terrorist organization called Black Hand, responsible for killing Archduke. Despite Serbia's willingness to negotiate, Austria-Hungary issued an ultimatum designed to be rejected. When Serbia refused to surrender its sovereignty, Austria-Hungary declared war on July 28, 1914, and thus the Great War had begun. Austria-Hungary expected a quick victory, but Serbia was ready. Under the leadership of General Radomir Putnik, the Serbian army, though outnumbered and poorly equipped, used superior tactics and determination to resist Austrian invasion. In August of 1914, the Battle of Cer, the Serbian army delivered first major Allied victory of the First World War, forcing the Austro-Hungarian forces into retreat. Later that year, Serbia shocked the world by repeating this success at Battle of Kolubara, reclaiming its capital. Serbia's victory came at cost. In 1915, the Austro-Hungarian army returned, this time with German and Bulgarian help. The Serbian army was outnumbered nearly 3-1, facing coordinated invasion from north and from the east. The key to the Serbian defense was Belgrade, the capital, which became the scene of one of the war's most heroic last stands. The Serbian garrison, outnumbered and outgunned, fought house to house, street to street, using whatever weapons they had. Even civilians took up arms, fighting alongside the soldiers to defend their city. But after the days of brutal combat, Belgrade fell. Rather than surrender, Serbia's army and government made a desperate decision. They would escape through mountains to Albania to reach Adriatic coast, where the Allies could evacuate them. This is quite similar to Dunkirk of the Second World War. This journey became one of the most tragic chapters in Serbian history. Over 400,000 soldiers and civilians set out on this death march through the winter cold, facing starvation, disease, and constant attacks from the Bulgarian, German, and Austrian forces. By the time they reached the coast, only 150,000 survived. The Allies rescued them, transporting them to North Africa to recover and regroup. The Serbians lost almost everything: its land, its people, its homes. But the war was not over yet. While Serbia itself was occupied, its army was far from finished. Reorganized and reinforced, they joined the fighting with allies at the Salonika front in the Greece, waiting for the right moment to strike back. By the way, at the Salonika front, they were fighting most of the Bulgarians, and I have a specific video about Bulgarians during the First World War, so I highly recommend you to watch it. The moment to strike came in the September of 1918. The Serbian army launched a devastating offensive through the Bulgarian lines at Dobropol. Within weeks, Bulgaria surrendered, Austria-Hungary collapsed, and Serbia was liberated. Serbia had suffered probably most of all countries during the First World War, but in the end, they emerged victorious. Here is one thing that seemed interesting to me. There are quite a lot of similarities between Serbia during the First World War and Poland during the Second World War. Both nations faced invasion by multiple enemies that were much stronger, much bigger, and they were outnumbered. Serbia was attacked in 1915 by Austria-Hungary, Germany and Bulgaria, and Poland in 1939 by Germany and Soviet Union. Both countries resisted fiercely. They have their last stand places, like in Serbia they had the Belgrade, and in Poland they had, for example, Visna or Warsaw in 1939, becoming symbols of resistance for these countries. As their population fought against impossible odds, they also suffered high casualties during this war. Serbia suffered enormous casualties, for example, over a quarter of its population died during the First World War. No other nation suffered that high proportional losses. And this is similar to Poland, where over 6 million Poles died during the war, though most of them were not during the conflict itself, but in the concentration camps and planned genocide by the Nazis. But on this topic I'll probably make some new video in the future. And both these countries, after the total occupation, did not surrender. Both Serbian and Polish forces during these world wars continued to fight on from exile. And I will also do video on this because courage and bravery of these soldiers is unimaginable. Serbia played a leading role in reuniting the South Slavs, forming a kingdom of Serbia, Croatia and Slovenia, later known as Yugoslavia. Serbia's defiance in First World War shaped the future of Balkans, proving that even the smallest nations can make a mark in history. Serbia's story in World War I is one of the bravery and sacrifice, but there are way more of stories like this, and I would really encourage you to write some examples of that into the comments so I make another video in future about it. And this would be all from me. Like, subscribe, you can also share, and yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.